All right, everybody, we are back for another round of exciting DraftKings Marketplace pack breaks. And again, much like last week, we got a little something extra spicy for you. We're doing Minotaur pack breaks to start. And then, of course, our UFC Reignmakers fighter card pack breaks as well. For those of you tuning in for the first time, I promise these are exciting shows. For those of you coming back, it's good to see you. We got a lot of exciting stuff lined up and some exciting updates, some breaking news, if you will, okay? But first, let me just run down how we're going to get into tonight's action. This show, starting now, 3 p.m. Eastern time, is going to have your first Minotaur pack break of the night and then your first and second UFC pack breaks, which, of course, are all hit drafts. What is a hit draft? We open the packs, and then you get to pick the cards based on your draft order. How do you pick your draft order? Well, good question. Your draft order is based on the ticket that you purchased. If you have the first ticket, you're the first pick. If you have the fifth ticket, you're the fifth pick, okay? Same goes for all of our breaks tonight. This show here at 3 p.m., our evening show at 6 p.m., and pretty much every other freaking show that we do. So that is how we do it. Stick with me. Please be present. The more engaged you are, the more active you are, the more present you are during these hit drafts, the faster they go. It seems like we've broken the record for time on every single draft. We break a record, then we break it again, then we break it again, which means we're getting better. You and me. Unbelievable. With that said, we are starting with our Minotaur pack breaks. You might say, hey, what's a Minotaur? Well, good question. It is a PFP project, the second PFP project of the DraftKings Draft Kingdom. Okay, this is the second collection after Trolls. PFPs are, I guess you could say, short for profile picture projects, meaning they're not just icons that you can use for identity, but they also come with utility. And as you've seen with DraftKings projects of all kinds, utility is king. Okay, no pun intended. Hey, no pun intended. So real quick, there's only 1,500 of these Minotaurs in existence, okay? This project is completely sold out. When I say completely, I mean these sold out in 10 minutes. So if you are in a pack break of these Minotaur pack breaks, you are the only person getting access to new Minotaurs. So that is excitement point number one for tonight. All right. The Minotaurs that you're going to see, they possess both male and female traits. Each trait has different rarity. It's going to help us determine how rare the card that we pull or the cards that we pull are. Without further ado, let's get into it. Let's start breaking open some Minotaurs. What do you say? Follow along. Here we go, guys. Minotaur number one, pack break number one. Let's see what we got. This I haven't seen. I haven't seen anything here. I mean, other than the foam finger, we got a lot going on. A rare skin, a rare handheld. You have the female hair. That sweatshirt we haven't seen yet. So I think we've got a rare one on our hands to start. Let's go to number two. Again, something we haven't seen yet. So the beanie, guys, these beanies, if you own a PFP Minotaur with one of these beanies, you are actually going to get a physical beanie, which is super cool. The nunchucks we haven't seen yet. The tuxedo shirt, I think I've only seen once. And the leopard or leopardy skin, or leopardy, I guess it depends on how you look at it, is a rare skin. So that's an awesome Minotaur right there. Let's go to number three. Whoa. Okay, this is definitely a super rare trait. I think that light bulb is a rare trait. The baseball bat I know is definitely a rare trait and a rare skin. So congrats to whoever lands that one. Another rare Minotaur. Guys, and as we go to the next Minotaur, keep in mind, the team is going to take all of these PFPs back into the lab while we talk for a couple minutes, and they're going to rank them for you as far as rarity goes, and then you'll be able to pick. So it's very easy to follow along. So do not freak out if we're moving too fast for you. Let's go. Next one. Laser eyes, fishing pole, rare skin. Oh my goodness. This is super rare. I don't know how rare it is. I don't know the ranking of it, but I promise you this is a super rare Minotaur. Let's go to the next one. Wow. Congrats to whoever lands that. Next up. We are on fire, folks, okay? I don't know what's happening, okay? But I can't feel my legs, all right? I simply can't feel my legs. This is like super rare Minotaur after super rare Minotaur. You guys in this break, congratulations. Let's hit the next one. All right, again, goalie stick. Haven't seen that yet. That's a rare skin. Definitely a rare handheld, or at least one we haven't seen yet. So another awesome Minotaur. But let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. I want to get to this draft ASAP. I want you guys to get your Minotaurs. The goatee is just electric here, okay? Just goatee, black eye. Guy's been through a lot. He's got the camo on. You know, he's seen a thing or two. You know, nunchucks, camo, black eye, goatee. That's a recipe for just absolute disaster. So there you go. Next up. Bike helmet. Hey guys, we know safety first, number one. Second off, extremely aerodynamic. You got the putter just in case. You never know. You might need to sink a 60-foot putt. Shout out to PGA Reignmakers, which I'm super excited about. Hey, a little plug there, no big deal. But yeah, aerodynamic and safe. That's what I have to say about this. Next one. Yeah, again, black-eyed nunchucks. Strictly business. Got the hoodie just in case it gets cool out. But yeah, this guy's got business written all over him. You got the bird on the filed down horn. Might be his pet, might be his buddy, who knows? But let's keep it moving. Does have the C on the chest. He is the captain, the team captain. Love that. Love to see that. Leadership. Very important quality. Megaphone. Coach's whistle. Got the captain hoodie right there with the C on the chest. You got the Longhorns. You got the police hat. And you have the woman's hair. This is a rare. This is definitely rare. I'm going to stake my name to that. This is going to be top 5, I think. But let's keep it moving. And we're done. Let's keep it moving, meaning we're done. We're going to the draft. I see I lose track. There's 10 of these things. I'm getting excited. I see rare traits. So here's the deal. The team is going to take all of those cards back to the lab. They're going to build our sheet that we can use to go ahead and follow along for our draft. That is going to be based on rarity, right? Rarity is going to determine on the traits of all of the Minotaurs that we just looked at. If the team can pull up our traits list, I would love to take a look because I saw some super rare traits that we haven't seen yet. And I think that's something that we definitely want to dig into. So if the team could pull our little handy dandy traits spreadsheet up, that would be tremendous. In the meantime, again, guys, just a reminder, these Minotaurs did completely sell out in 10 minutes. What you're seeing is what's left. And what's left are the traits you see on my screen. First and foremost, I am looking for, where is the handhelds? We saw the goalie stick. I want to see the goalie stick. Come on. Hockey stick, 4%. We'll take that. That's rare. That is definitely rare. We saw, let me just quickly look for clothing, Hawaiian shirt, tuxedo tee. We saw that's a 10%. Not DK jersey, but the hockey sweater is a 6% trait. We saw 2 of those. Very cool. Very, very cool. All right, so for eyes, Laser eyes, 2%. So we did have laser eyes for the first time. That's a 2% trait under eyes. Awesome. We did have the black eye, a hat hair combos. We had, let's see here. We had the pillbox hat, 5%. That's the police hat. You had Texas Longhorns. That's a 5% trait for sure. The light bulb that we saw, that was a 4% trait. Very cool. Again, guys, the beanie is a 3% trait, but we've seen a bunch of those, and that is going to land you an actual physical beanie from the marketplace. The story is that a handful of these Minotaurs got loose inside the marketplace store. They stole a bunch of the beanies, and they're giving them out to you guys if you end up with one of those thieving Minotaurs, so to speak. What else do we have here? We didn't have a hockey goalie mask. We had a Spartan helmet. I don't think we had a Spartan helmet. I haven't seen a flower crown yet. Bike helmet we had. That's 2.6%. That bike helmet's super rare as well. Okay, back to the handhelds. Nunchucks, we had a couple of 8%. And I'm getting this now from the team in my ear, okay? From the control room, folks. Quick spoiler, there is officially a rarity score of 4404, which is the highest we've had yet, which is awesome. I'm curious to see who that is. We did have a fishing rod at 4%. The foam finger, of course, at 4%. We had the putter at 4%. The hockey stick at 4%. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. Oh, wow. I knew it. I knew it. I freaking knew it. The gold teeth. I didn't notice the grill. Okay? I did not notice the grill. But Minotaur 194 has a 4404 rarity. Wow. That is sick. Look at that gold grill. Yeah, amazing. So anyways, guys, so as you guys are moving along here and as we get this draft going and as we work through it, remember, if this is your first Minotaur, make sure you upload it to your DraftKings profile picture. Make sure you put your Minotaur up as your DraftKings profile picture. It is going to get you 500 tier credits to boost your Dynasty Rewards tier status, okay? Just like that. Switch your profile picture, 500 tier credits. Free. Just do it, okay? Immediately. Like within seconds. I'm just kidding, but seriously do it. Beyond that, there is going to be a snapshot in a week for these PFPs, so don't worry. You're not going to get the tier credit immediately, but make sure you get it up so you don't forget because the snapshot is going to be on the 9th, okay? Additionally, some of the super rare traits that we saw on that list, those are new compared to the Trolls Project. And each Minotaur does have a chance to roll a brand new super rare trait. I don't know if we had any of the super rares, but I know we had definitely rare. Those laser eyes were close. I thought it was close. Okay. I thought it was close. But if you do get a super rare trait, all right, and this might nudge you to go look at the secondary market and see if you can find a deal or sneak one by someone. I'm not saying, listen, hey, you do what you got to do. But all holders of a super rare trait are going to get a $2,000 golf DFS contest entry for the Players Championship. And you're going to get a $25 DFS ticket for the Fantasy Golf Millionaire that weekend. Again, the women's skins are rarer than the men's skins. So a lot of those women's traits that we've seen, they fall at the bottom of those rarity tiers because they are the rarest. Some examples, the MMA gloves, that's a super rare trait for the Minotaur Project. And then in those MMA gloves, Minotaur trait, you are going to be able to compete in a DFS contest for UFC 285 this weekend and win the Ultimate Fight Night experience, okay? Some of the rare traits, anything gold, right? We saw the gold teeth. We just saw in our rarest of the break just now. The labyrinth accessories or clothing or backgrounds. The women's hockey goalie mask is a rare trait. Championship rings, field passes, ear tags, glowing eyes, third eyes, heart glasses, and then handhelds up like the MMA glove, the sword, checkered flag. Those are all rare traits as well. So all things to be on the lookout for, but very cool. I love the project. I think the utility is amazing. DraftKings continues to provide unmatched utility. I mean, guys, Reignmakers alone, right? If you think about NFT utility, Web3 utility, the Reignmakers game that we all love, or at least most of us, I know I do, love and participate in and compete for prizes in. It doesn't get any better than that as far as NFT utility goes, okay? You literally have an NFT project, you have collectibles, but those collectibles can be used to enter contests and use strategy and compete for prizes. Crazy. So shout out to DraftKings and the Reignmakers team. You know, for those of you in the Web3 space, hopefully you can appreciate everything that they're doing. All right, so here's the deal. Here's our first draft, guys. All 10 Minotaurs from rarest to least rare, but that doesn't mean that's the order you have to pick in. You pick what you love. It is art, folks. All right, first pick in the Minotaur draft. Tedu, you are on the clock, my friend. We're back and we're drafting. Let's go. Tedu, good to see you again, my friend. Tedu is on the clock. Yeah, Tedu is taking number 1. Minotaur 194. Congratulations. Super dope. Mustafael, pick 2 on the clock. Mustafael. Minotaur 84 going to Mustafael in the 2 slot. We go to Kivonic 622. He is taking number 3. Minotaur 1364 with the laser eyes. Pretty sick. Number 4 is going to May the Luck Be With You. And May the Luck Be With You is taking Minotaur 4 or number 1060. We go back to back. Rad Knob. Rad Knob in the 5 and the 6 slot. You're on the clock. Rad Knob. Minotaur 6 is going to Rad Knob. That's number 1091. What else is Rad Knob taking off the table? I don't know why that name is fun to say. And number 5, 1107. So he does take 5 and 6 in the 5 and 6 hole. Congrats to Rad Knob. Number 7, we're coming back. May the luck be with you. May the luck be with you in the 7 hole. And he's taking 7. I don't think we haven't skipped a slot yet. So may the luck be with you. Take 7. Number 609 with the bike helmet, safety, and aerodynamics. Very key. Here we go. Slot number 8, Kivonic 622. Kivonic 622 in the 8 hole. You're on the clock. And number 8, 1289 with the light bulb. With the light bulb. And we go to slot 9, Mustafael. You're back on the clock. Mustafael and then Tedu. And Mustafael takes 9 and Tedu takes number 10. Simple as that. Simple as that. Guys, make sure you get these into your DraftKings profile pictures as soon as possible for the 500 tier score. Very important. Free. Simply free. Okay? Switching gears. We're going to our UFC breaks, guys. For those of you here for the UFC breaks, we're here. It's time. All right? We've got an amazing UFC event coming up, guys. UFC 285. I do want to start with some breaking news. Before we start the pack breaks, probably the most important thing we talk about tonight. Breaking news. For those of you that remember, the gated portfolio contest from Reignmaker's UFC 283 offered a VIP experience. I talked about it. Incredible package. One of them happened to be an experience with an MMA fighter. Well, we know who that MMA fighter is, and we know what that experience is. For this UFC event, you're going to have an MMA lesson with none other than legendary Stipe Miocic, one of the greatest heavyweight fighters of all time. If you win the Reignmakers portfolio gated contest, or if you won the Reignmakers portfolio gated contest, you are getting a lesson with Stipe Miocic. That's insane. Okay? That's crazy. Absolutely out of control. So one of the cooler prizes that we have offered up on the UFC project so far. Very cool. On that note, we do have a huge UFC event before us. We've got the number 10 pound-for-pound fighter in John Bones Jones taking on number 1 Cyril Gane. So that is your heavyweight title bout. And then you have an amazing women's bout with Valentina Shevchenko and Alex Grasso. We'll talk a lot more about that momentarily, but let's start breaking cards. Break number 1. Here we go, folks. Again, real quick, before we crack open, a little bit of a change in scenery. We are cracking Reignmaker's UFC event packs, okay? Very important. We're cracking Reignmaker's UFC event packs. We're doing 10 of them, 50 cards. The first 20 picks are going to be manual. The second 30 picks are going to be auto draft. We're going to move very quickly. These packs sold out almost instantaneously, super scarce, super sought after. So again, very cool that you're having a chance to break them here. Let's start with our first pack. As always, guys, right to left, good luck. We have a rare on deck. From the right, Blackshear, Brunson, Marquez, Shevchenko, and good start. Rare John Bones Jones. Guys, just also a point of clarity. These are the packs specific to the event coming up this weekend. They're fighters in this weekend's event. They can only be used for this weekend's event, but they are going to count towards your franchise score, okay? That's a little nugget. Here we go. Pack 2. From the right, let's go. We got an elite on deck. Here we go. Good luck. Razabov, Rachmanov, Marquez, Cody Garbrandt. Nice. And our elite. Nice. Jessica Penne, elite. Very nice. Moving on, pack 3. Event pack number 3, we have a rare. Here we go. From the right. Basharat, Turner, Jalen Turner, Jessica Penne, Araujo, and our rare, Richie. Nice. Tabitha Richie. Here we go. Again, pack number 4. Event pack number 4 with a rare at the end. Here we go from the right. Ribovics, Johnny Bones Jones, Penne, Nikal, and our rare, Marc-Andre Barrio. We'll take it. Give me a Cyril Gane. Cyril Gane. I would love a rare or elite or legendary Cyril Gane. We got a Basharat, Rachmanov, Barrio, Araujo, and a rare, Nikal. Okay, we'll take it. Next pack. 2 rares. 2 rares are better than 1. Duplessis, Martinez, Nikal, and our 2 rares, Martinez and Marquez. Nice. Julia Marquez. Next up. From the right, give me a legendary. Basharat, Brunson, Barrio, Araujo, and your rare, Marquez. All right. Guys, again, these are great because all of these fighters are usable in this weekend's card. Here we go. Ribovics, Gamrot, Barrio, Shevchenko. Very nice. And Simon. 2 packs left. Good luck. From the right, Blackshear, Turner, Simon, and Cody Garbrandt, and Blackshear. There we go. And last pack of the break. Last pack of the first of 2 breaks. Another rare. From the right, Vivian Araujo, Gamrot, Barrio, Garbrandt, and Marquez. All right. So here's the deal. The team is going to go back into the lab and build your draft sheet, of which we will follow along as a crew. Again, don't panic if you feel like you lost track of what happened. We have a sheet that we're going to build for you. You're going to be able to follow around very easily. We are going to run a snake hit draft. What does that mean? Again, we're going to take the first pick, and they're going to pick the first pick of the draft, okay? So the first pick is going to be the first ticket serial numbered 1 that you purchased, okay? They get first pick. Then we're going to move our way all the way down the draft board and then all the way back, snake style. Everybody's draft order is going to be determined by the ticket that they have, okay? And we will work our way through the first 20 picks manually, and then we will auto pick, okay? And the auto picking is based on the criteria that we've given you all, of which you'll also see on the screen. With that said, let's talk a little bit about UFC, all right? As I said earlier, John Bones Jones taking on Cyril Gane in the heavyweight title bout. And then you also have Valentina Shevchenko and Alex Grasso, probably the 2 most important fights on the card. You do have the vacant heavyweight title after Francis Ngannou was removed as the heavyweight champion and released from his contract. Okay, so John Bones Jones, this is his heavyweight debut after years of talk and speculation. It's a huge comeback, just massive. One of the biggest names in the history of the sport. And then you have former interim heavyweight champion Cyril Gane. Okay, guys, Bones Jones hasn't fought since 2020. Okay, the last bout he won was a controversial decision over Dominic Reyes at 247. It marked his second consecutive controversial decision following the split decision win over Thiago Santos. But it is the third successful title defense of Jones' second stint as the UFC light heavyweight champion. He talked about moving to heavyweight for a while, and he vacated his light heavyweight title after the win over Reyes in preparation of moving up. But for nearly 3 years, no fight has materialized. So here we are. You've got Gane, who's quickly emerged as one of the UFC's elite heavyweights. He is a scary dude. He debuted in the promotion in just his fourth professional fight. So he is new to UFC, and he is scary. He's got 7 straight octagon wins and winning, including winning the interim title. And he fought Francis Ngannou for the full world championship, but he lost via decision. Obviously, Ngannou, a tough opponent for anybody on the planet. Okay. Basically, we're looking at the title, the vacant title being on the line. All right. You've got the number 10 ranked Bones Jones, your favorite. He's considered by many to be the greatest fighter in the history of the sport. Some would argue that, but many people would argue that that is the case. This is the first time, as we said, he's competed since 247. His resume is just insane. It's psychotic, to be quite honest with you. But there are questions, right? He's 35. He hasn't competed in over 3 years. And he's got 2 competitive decision wins recently. And it's the first time in the heavyweight ranks. And here comes Cyril Gane, the underdog. And he's got an opportunity to become the undisputed UFC heavyweight champion. In his first fight, he already had an opportunity. But he did get roughed up a little bit by Ngannou. Gane rebounded. He came back with the 3rd round stoppage over Tai Tuivasa, if you guys remember that, in UFC 270. Excuse me, not in 270, in Paris. And he's looking to make the most of his second opportunity. And here he comes. He's a heavyweight that moves like a middleweight. If you guys have watched Gane fight, he's very athletic. He moves nicely. Moving on to the co-main event, you guys saw some Shevchenkos come out in that break. You have Valentina Shevchenko versus Alexa Grasso. Shevchenko is your flyweight queen, and she's defending her title, and Grasso is surging. Are we going to get the and still, right? Or are we going to get and new, as you all have come to know and love? Either way, Shevchenko is your number 2 ranked pound for pound. Okay, she's the second best fighter on the planet. And she is seeking a 10th consecutive victory and 8th successful defense of her flyweight title. She's the favorite, needless to say. She has dominated the competition in the 125-pound ranks. She was pushed to her limits last summer in Singapore when Talia Santos took her on, but she did take out Santos by split decision. And they call her the Bullet, and they don't call her the Bullet for no reason. In comes Alexa Grasso, however, your underdog, who's forecasted to be a contender. She needed to change divisions to realize really her full potential, though. So she's earned 4 consecutive victories since making the move in 2020 to flyweight. Last fall, she scored a unanimous decision over Viviane Araujo, who you also saw in the break, to cement her standing as a championship contender. So she's outstanding in her last 4, working with smooth movements and crisp boxing. I kind of envision the way that she fights. It's like butter. She's just grooving. She's just grooving. And with a win, she could join Brandon Moreno and Yair Rodriguez as Mexican UFC champions, which would be very, very cool. Okay, so your welterweight bout is Jeff Neal and Shavkat Rakhmonov. All right, this is an absolute banger of a fight. You guys saw some Rakhmonov cards come out. Ascending in the rankings is definitely a stake. They're both top 10, and the winner could really lock up a much bigger matchup next time out, especially with the finish, right? We all know how important finishes are. Rakhmonov is your favorite. He's a number 9th ranked welterweight. Ironically, The number 7th ranked welterweight, Jeff Neal, is your underdog. So it tells you a little bit about their fighting style. You've got Reignmaker at 16-0 overall. He's 4-0 in the UFC. And you've got really somebody who's yet to see the scorecards in his entire career. Reignmaker just finishes people, okay? Meanwhile, you've got Jeff Neal on a 2-fight winning streak, all right? He's your underdog. And he's coming off a 3rd-round stoppage over Vicente Luque, who's a very talented fighter in his own right. Moving to lightweight, you've got Mateusz Gamrot versus Jalen Turner. This is a critical lightweight pairing. You've got ranked competitors looking to progress further into the division to start 2023. And no matter how this plays out, it's going to be an entertaining fight. These are entertaining fighters. You get the number 7th ranked Gamrot as your favorite. He jumped into the opening card after Dan Hooker's withdrawal. Okay, but it looks he's going to look to rebound from UFC 280 where he lost to Dariush. And then you've got your underdog, Jalen Turner, who's 27. He's won 5 straight, all by stoppage. He is hot. And it looks like he's an ascending talent, putting all the pieces together right now. So this is an interesting matchup, an interesting fight, cards that you should be after for this event. I think, building lineups with either of these guys is definitely a valid approach. I think Jalen Turner is a really special fighter, but, Gamrot's got the edge on him, at least the way the odds makers see it. You also have Jamie Pickett versus Bo Nickal. Okay, this is originally scheduled to take place at 282. You've got Nickal and Pickett now facing off in the 285 card. All eyes are on Nickal, right? This gives Pickett a chance to really pull off an upset, right? Sometimes we see that happen. Kicking off the pay-per-view, this is going to be your first of the pay-per-view bouts. You've got Nickal, your favorite. Who's one of the more intriguing new arrivals on the roster. He's a 3-time D1 champion wrestler, a 4-time All-American. He's dangerous on the mats, and he looked outstanding and has looked outstanding through his first 3 fights. And then you got Jamie Pickett, who was part of Dana White's Contender Series. He's a graduate of that program, and he's got 2 wins and 6 starts to begin his UFC career. So a little shaky, not as buttery smooth as Bo Nickal to start, but he could come out and pull the wool over people's eyes. I'm just saying. Meanwhile, you've got your prelim fights, guys. Let's talk about that quickly because Cody Garbrandt's actually a solid name. Cody Garbrandt comes in versus Trevin Jones. Garbrandt's trying to snap a 2-fight skid against another struggling bantamweight in Trevin Jones. Somebody's struggles are going to end here. Garbrandt's been struggling. Jones has been struggling. Somebody's going to stop struggling here. Okay, it's just how it works. It's science. Okay, simple science. Both fighters are going to be going for the knockout here for sure. You've got a final preliminary card fight here going into the pay-per-view. And I like Garbrandt as a fighter there in general. Moving on to middleweight, you got Derek Brunson, another great name, taking on Dricus Duplessis. They're going to square off in a clash of middleweights. You got the number 10 middleweight in Duplessis as your favorite. He's got 4-0 record inside the octagon. Very impressive fighter. He's got a run of 6 consecutive victories. He's 18-2 overall. The numbers are there, okay? In comes Derek Brunson, 5-fight winning streak got snapped last time out by Jared Cannonier, who's also a very skilled fighter. Brunson's talked about retirement in the past. They call him Still Knox. He's surging though. He's surging. He's talked about retirement, and here he is. He's doing all right. He's fighting. He's fighting for a comeback. Vivian Araujo takes on Amanda Ribas in the flyweight division. Okay, so you have the Brazilians going at it. In a battle of flyweights. Both are trying to get into the top 5 rankings this year. You got Ribas as your favorite, okay, with a 5-2 record overall. She's appeared to committing to fighting at 125 pounds after dropping to Caitlin Chukagian. You have the number 8 ranked flyweight in Vivian Araujo. That's your underdog. She's 36. She's gone 5-3 in her last 8 UFC starts, and really establishing herself as a key player, okay, key. In the top 10, okay? Keep an eye on the name Vivian Araujo, okay? She has been making waves. She's got wins over Alexis Davis, Roxanne Modafferi, Andrea Lee. She's got some big wins, okay? Going on to middleweight, Julian Marquez is taking on Marc-Andre Barrio. Marquez and Barrio face off in a middleweight contest close to close out the televised prelims. They've both shown flashes of upside. They look to get things moving in the right direction for each of them in 2023. Each corner is really hoping for a strong start to the year. Barrios is going to try to bounce back from that loss he took via submission to Anthony Hernandez. Then you get Julian Marquez, who is a Contender Series grad, competing for the first time since suffering a knockout loss to Gregory Rodriguez. And that is that. Additional prelim fights, guys. You've got welterweight Machado Gary versus Keenan Song. You've got bantamweight Mana Martinez versus Cameron Simon. You got the strawweight bout, Jessica Penne versus Tabitha Ritchie. You've got the Farid Basharat and Damon Blackshear fight in the bantamweight division. And you have Loic Radzhabov taking on Esteban Rubovics in the lightweight division. Why do I go through all of these fights? Well, because these are event packs, okay? All of these fighters are available, and you're going to have the opportunity to leverage them as they have active fights this weekend, okay? On that note, let's talk about these particular packs. And guys, bear with us. The team is putting together your draft board. We will have it up shortly, but let's talk about the packs, okay? All 28 fighters involved. You got John Jones, Cyril Gane, Valentina Shevchenko, all the fighters I just named, Alexa Grasso, Jalen Turner, Jeff Neal, Shah Rakhmonov, Bo Nickal, Jamie Pickett, Derek Brunson, Duplessis. You've got Song Keenan, Cody Garbrandt, Trevin Jones, Mana Martinez, etc. Everybody, okay? And then ahead of each UFC fight night or pay-per-view with contest offerings, the UFC event packs are going to drop containing only the fighters in that pack. Great example here, right? They are going to include 5 fighter game cards, as you saw in the break, a guaranteed fighter game card on the main card of the event. Thank you very much. And all 5 rarity tiers are included. You get 1 rare plus card guaranteed, okay? So anything more than 1 rare, you're winning, okay? We saw a couple of elites. We didn't see any legendary. We obviously didn't see any Reignmakers. If we saw Reignmakers, I'd be tearing clothes off and snapping and freaking out, okay? I'm just saying. On that note, let's talk briefly about division ranks. I want to give you guys some updates on where the division ranks stand. First, men's welterweight. Okay, and these are some changes, right? So I want to kind of highlight some changes. So in the welterweight division, you have your champion Leon Edwards. Okay, the number 1 challenger is Kamaru Usman, Colby Covington in the 2, Hamzat Chimaev in the 3, Bilal Muhammad in the 4 hole, and Gilbert Burns in the 5 hole. Additionally, you have Stephen Thompson at 6, Jeff Neal at 7, Sean Brady at 8, Vicente Luque at 9. You've got Rakhmonov, who's moved up into the 10 hole. He's finally cracked the top 10 in this division. Masvidal moves down to 11. You've got Neil Magny at 12. Chesa has gone and moved up to tie Neil Magny in the 12 hole. You've got Della Maddalena at 14, and then Michael Pereira is your 15th ranked welterweight. We move on to the middleweight with some changes, okay? You got Alex Pereira as your champion. Izzy Adesanya, of course, in the number 1 challenger spot. Robert Whittaker in the 2 hole. Jared Cannonier in the 3 hole. Marvin Vettori at 4. You've got Derek Brunson at 5. Paulo Costa at 6. Sean Strickland at 7. Roman Dolidze at 8. Jack Hermanson at 9. Dricius Duplessis at 10. Nasruddin Imavov, okay, up the board into the 11 hole. You've got Brendan Allen staying put at 12. You've got Andre Muniz, who's moved down 2 into the 13 slot. Chris Curtis in the 14 hole, and Kelvin Gastelum in the 15 hole. Okay, let's talk light heavyweight as well. We've seen some changes here. You've got your champion, Jamahal Hill, is 12-1, and your champion of light heavyweight division. You got Yuri Prochaska, who's, I think, one of the scariest people on the planet, in the 1 hole. Magomed Ankalaev in the 2 slot, Jan Blachowicz in the 3 hole, Alexander Rakic in the 4 slot, Anthony Smith at 5, Nikita Krylov at 6, Johnny Walker at 7, Ryan Spahn at 8. You've got Oezdemir, who's gone down a slot into the 9 hole. You've got Paul Craig as your 10th ranked light heavyweight, Dominic Reyes as your 11th ranked light heavyweight, Jimmy Crute at 12. You've got Dustin Jacoby moving up by 1 into the 13 hole. Khalil Roundtree in the 13 hole as well. And Azamat Mirzakhanov is your 15th ranked light heavyweight. Let's also talk about a change in the women's pound for pound. Okay, the overall women's rankings. We are seeing Amanda Nunes, of course, as your champion. You've got Shevchenko in the 2 hole, Zhang Weili in the 3 hole, Rose Namajunas in the 4 hole, and you have Juliana Pena moving down 1 into the 5 slot. Carla Esparza in 6, Jessica Andrade at 7, Erin Blanchfield at 8, Amanda Lemos at 9, Talia Santos at 10. You have Manon Fiorot increasing her slot in the ranking up to 11 by 1. Marina Rodriguez decreasing by 1. My friend Marina, who I love and is the best, unfortunately has moved down 1 slot. Raquel Pennington increasing by 1 into the 13th hole. Holly Holm is down 1 into the 14 hole, and Tatiana Suarez remains firm in the 15 slot. You also have a flyweight change in the women's division. Your champion, Valentina Shevchenko, of course, who we will see this weekend. You've got Manon Fiorot has gone up the boards into the 1 contender slot. Talia Santos has moved down into the 2 hole. You've got Erin Blanchfield in the 3 slot. Jessica Andrade is your 4th ranked. Caitlin Chukagin, the 5th ranked women's flyweight. Alexa Grasso, who's taking on Shevchenko this weekend in the 6th hole. Lauren Murphy in the 7th hole. Vivian Araujo in the 8th hole. You've got Jennifer Maya in the 9 hole. Andrea Lee in the 10. Casey O'Neill in the 11. Macy Barber in the 12. Tracy Cortez at 13th. Cynthia Calvillo at 14. And Miranda Maverick at 15. Additionally, women's bantamweight, guys, bear with me as we go through these changes. I think they're important, and our team is still working on our list. Amanda Nunes is your champion, of course. The legendary Amanda Nunes. You have Juliana Pena in the 1 challenger slot, Raquel Pennington in the 2 hole, Holly Holm in the 3 hole, Ketlin Vieira in the 4 hole, Irene Aldana at 5, Yana Santos at 6, Pani Kianzad at 7, Macy Chason at 8. You have Carol Rosa at 9, Misha Tate at 10, Julia Avila at 11, Mayra Bueno Silva at 12, Norma Dumont at 13. And then you have your change at Josiane Nunez moving up into the 14 hole and Chelsea Chandler staying in the 15 slot. All right. Additionally, one last one, guys. Women's strawweight. We have seen a change. You still have Zhang Wei Li at your champion slot, one of the most dangerous women on the planet. Carla Esparza in the 1 challenger slot. Rose Namajunas at 2, Thug Rose. You have Amanda Lemos at 3. Jessica Andrade has increased by 2 into the 4 hole. You have Marina Rodriguez decreasing by 1 in the 5 hole. Zhao Nanyan going down into the 6 hole by 1. You have Mackenzie Dern in the 7 slot. Tisha Torres in the 8 slot. Amanda Ribas in the 9 slot. Verna Jandiroba in the 10 slot. One of my favorite names in the sport. Michelle Watterson Gomez in the 11. Angela Hill at 12. Tatiana Suarez is staying put at 13. Luana Pinheiro moves down 1 into the 14th hole. And you have Emily Ducote decreasing by 1. Okay, so those are the changes in the rankings. I think they're important, right? As you guys go out there into the secondary market and you look at cards that you might want to be buying or adding or people that you think have opportunity to move up in the rankings, that's why it's important that we cover this stuff. Additionally, breaking news. We talked about it momentarily before the break, but incredibly important for this, okay? The UFC 283 portfolio gated contest that you guys remember from the last event called out a number of incredible things, including a VIP experience with a fighter, okay? A fighter experience. Officially announcing today for the first time, well, really the second time, but on this show, the first time, we are announcing that the winner is going to have a lesson coached by Stipe Miocic, one of the greatest heavyweights of all time, an active fighter. Stipe Miocic is going to be coaching you through an MMA lesson and potentially choking you up. I'm just saying. There's potential for him to just completely choke you out, get you into a rear naked choke, and just put you out. Some of you might enjoy that. Some of you might not. All I'm saying is it could happen. All right? I don't want to downplay the importance of the package and how great of a prize it is. Stipe Miocic, you and Stipe in the octagon talking about grappling and fighting and landing punches. I'm just saying. Me, that's a dream. I hope it is for you as well. Additionally, another thing to keep in mind, and I keep harking on this for every single show. As you collect, as you open packs, as you buy packs, as you buy cards on the secondary market, as you add to your collection in any way possible, you are going to build your franchise score, okay? Your franchise score is going to unlock opportunities to compete for over $4 million in prizes this season, okay? That is not a joke. I did not make that up. That is not a lie. $4 million in prizing is set aside, okay? $4 million set aside for you to compete as participants in Reignmaker's UFC just by collecting, just by having a franchise score, okay? Grow your franchise score, increase your access to prizing, do it. You're crazy if you don't, all right? Open packs, enter breaks, buy cards on the secondary market, buy packs on the secondary market, buy drops. I don't care how you do it. Just do it because that's too much money to watch go away. Somebody's winning it. Somebody. Is it me? Is it you? I don't know. Our team is still working on the list, guys. A couple of technical difficulties. I apologize in advance, but we got plenty of stuff to talk about, okay? We got plenty of stuff to talk about. That's all I'm saying. Okay, some talking points, right? General notes. We have, well, first off, when Bones makes his long-awaited debut, there's going to be $250K and an additional $10K for Octagon Pass holders in the DFS contest prizing, okay? This is the 285 contest details. So $5,000 Octagon Pass for DFS contest for all tiers. And then there's a $5,000 Octagon Pass for DFS contest for Legendary and Reignmaker combined, okay? Again, the portfolio gated contest, when Gon fights to prove himself worthy of the heavyweight title this weekend, there's just as much at stake in the portfolio gated rare tier contest, okay? So the winner is going to receive a UFC 287 VIP package for 2, okay? So we're kind of re-upping here. We got a whole new contest. UFC VIP package for 2. This is your portfolio gated contest, all right? And that's going to include a meal with a UFC fighter. Last contest, you get to train with a UFC fighter. This contest, you get to eat with a UFC fighter. Again, fighters TBD. We just announced Stipe Miocic as your winner, or your prize, I should say. I don't want to say Stipe's a prize, but hanging with Stipe is definitely a prize. That's from the last gated contest. This gated contest, we will announce the fighter in a future show, okay? The contest is going to require you to hold 5 or more Genesis Rare Heavyweight Fighter cards at the time of the contest posting, okay? So to be eligible to submit a lineup, the fighter game card that you own does not have to be featured in the lineup itself. You just have to hold it in your portfolio, okay? The fighter game card can be ripped from either Genesis standard packs, premium, or add-on packs, or, of course, picked up on the secondary market. The weight class must be heavyweight at the rare tier, okay? Any edition number, any serial number, those are all eligible, but it must be heavyweight at the rare tier. And the top finisher is going to win the UFC 287 experience. And then top 100 finishers will each receive 1 Reignmaker UFC Fight Night event pack. Okay, much like the event pack we just saw, but these are event packs for March 11th. Okay, we good? Everybody good? Team, any update on where we're at on the back end as we continue to work through some input here and some info? Here we go. Let me just real quick break down what we have in store for tonight. Okay? Hit drafts. Reignmaker hit drafts. For those of you that have been with us, you'll know this by now, so bear with me, okay? But those of you that are new, what is going on here tonight? What are we going to do? So we're going to open 10, all right? 10 Reignmaker UFC event packs like we did in the last break. If you're just joining now, we are then going to have the team build a list like the one they're building now, and what you're about to watch is how we run a hit draft. What does a hit draft mean? You have a draft order that is dictated by the addition of your ticket. If you have the 3rd ticket, you have the 3rd pick. 7th ticket, 7th pick, vice versa. We work our way from the 1 pick all the way to the 10th pick, and then back to the 1 pick. Okay? 1 pick to 10 pick to 1 pick, and all the way back and forth until we are through all 50 cards. For tonight, it is a 50-card draft. We have been doing 40-card drafts. Tonight's a 50-card draft. However, it might be the fastest one yet if we can get through the first 20 in time. If everybody stays engaged, we'll do 20 picks manually, and then we'll finish the final 30 with our auto pick criteria, which comes down to edition tier, the fighter status, etc. Okay? That is how we run our hit drafts. Everybody good with that? Amazing. Again, the Genesis standard packs were pulled from the site after UFC 285 contests, or are going to be pulled from the site after the 285 were pulled from the site. And this is an absolutely historic event coming up this weekend. It's the first 2 UFC pay-per-views. The first 2 UFC pay-per-views were global in Rio and Australia, but now we're back in Vegas, and it's a huge fight card. We talked about it between, not only just Gon and John Jones, which is, we talked about the last UFC events fight as being maybe the most electric matchup and the most sought-after matchup we've had in a long time. But if you combine John Jones's return, Cyril Gane, and his allure as an up-and-coming fighter, coupled with Shevchenko and Grasso, this evening gets just as interesting. So I highly, highly recommend tuning in. I highly, highly recommend building UFC Reignmaker lineups because this is going to be a gnarly event. I mean, between Gane and Jones alone, there's storylines for days. I mean, you've got 7 straight octagon wins for Gane. 7 straight. But he did lose to Ngannou, right? So he does have a loss to Ngannou. Can John Jones come back in his old age? I would say, at this point in his career, is 35 old in the UFC? I think so, right? I would like to think not. But 35 in the UFC is old. Can John Bones Jones hold up after coming back after a while? But at the end of the day, at 35, does he still have what it takes to be, as we all have known him to be, one of the greatest, if not the greatest UFC fighter of all time? Well, Cyril Gane is going to try to tell you otherwise. He did have a chance to become the undisputed UFC heavyweight champion, but as I mentioned, the loss to Ngannou. So a lot of fascinating talk tracks within this event. And guys, I'm being told right now from the control room, so to speak, that we have a little bit less than 5 minutes to go here until we get your list. There was a couple of technical difficulties, so bear with me. Also, and I'm going to run through this again for people that are just tuning in and just getting back with us. The Shevchenko and Grasso fight is also just a fascinating matchup between the number 2 pound-for-pound Shevchenko and Alexa Grasso, who's the number 6 overall flyweight. Shevchenko is just an absolute assassin. She's got 10 straight victories. And then comes Alexa Grasso, who's also just a really talented fighter. Just outstanding in her last 4 fights. You also have Jeff Neal and Rakhmonov, who we talked about earlier. This is an absolute banger. A lot of punches going to be thrown here. They're both in the top 10. And the winner could really be a bigger matchup next time out. It could secure themselves a huge matchup next time out in that welterweight division. And this is what's interesting. Rakhmonov is your 9th ranked welterweight taking on the 7th ranked welterweight, but he is the favorite. So Jeff Neal is the higher ranked fighter, but the underdog. So keep that in mind as you look at these events. You have Mateusz Gamrot and Jalen Turner at the lightweight division, guys. And I'm recapping these again as we kill time, so bear with me. The lightweight pairing between the two as the number 7 and number 10 ranked fighters, Gamrot the number 7 and Turner the number 10. He's trying to rebound. I should say Gamrot's trying to rebound after he lost to Dariush in 280. And you have the 27-year-old Turner who's won 5 straight. So I like Turner as an underdog here. I'm just saying. Jamie Pickett and Bo Nickal in the middleweight division are taking on each other. This was originally scheduled for 282. Unfortunately, it got slid and pushed and flexed. Here comes Nickal and Jamie Pickett now facing off with all eyes on Nickal, giving Pickett kind of that window to sneak up. Nickal is just a fantastic fighter. He's a 3-time D1 champion and an All-American. Really impressive on the ground. All right. As far as prelims, guys, I'm not going to give you too many details, but I will call them out. Your bantamweight bout, Cody Garbrandt and Trevin Jones. You've got your middleweight bout, Derek Brunson and Dricius Duplessis. You've got your flyweight bout, Viviane Araujo and Amanda Ribas. And you've got your middleweight bout in Julian Marquez and Marc-Andre Barrio. Your prelim fights, guys, I will call out as well. Your welterweight matchup between Ian Machado and Keenan Song. Ian Machado Gary, I should say, and Keenan Song. Machado Gary is your favorite. You've got Mana Martinez, the bantamweight level, versus your favorite Cameron Simon. Simon is your favorite there. The strawweight division, you have Jessica Penne and Tabitha Ritchie. Tabitha Ritchie is your favorite there. You have Farid Basharat and Damon Blackshear in the bantamweight. Basharat is your favorite there. And you have Loic Radzhabov and Esteban Ribovics. Radzhabov is your favorite there. Okay? Again, guys, we are ripping and have ripped and just did rip UFC 285 pack or event packs. All of the cards in these packs are UFC event fighters. So these are going to be fighters on the 285 card. They can only be used for the 285 event. However, they will count towards your franchise score. I don't want to beat a dead horse, but anything that counts towards your franchise score at this point is important. Okay, there's too much money on the table. If you build your franchise score, you're going to get even more exposure to more prizes. Okay, you win money by having your franchise score continue to grow. I don't want to yell. I don't want to sound like I'm yelling at you. I'm not yelling at you. I love you. I love you. But please build your franchise score. Okay, it's crazy not to. And this is the last chance with the Genesis packs that are going to be removed after this event. So make sure you go grab your Genesis packs, knuckleheads, okay? And as your ultimate lineup locks and franchise score boosts, okay? And, again, these packs, these Genesis packs, still contain top-ranked champion fighters and fighters on upcoming cards. Your men pound-for-pound champ Volkanovski, Justin Gaethje, Jessica Andrade, Ribas, Leon Edwards, Pereira, Curtis Blades, Zhang Weili, Davalishvili, Jamal Hill. I mean, pretty incredible stuff. I mean, I think it's a no-brainer. So get out there, get your Genesis packs. They will lock after tonight. All right? Where are we at, team? We almost there? Let me give you guys a couple of upcoming fight lineups that are important. March 11th, you have your UFC Fight Night, Petr Yan versus Davalishvili. That is your headliner. Then we come back March 18th for UFC 286, Leon Edwards versus Usman. Very, very exciting fight there. So 286, mark your calendars for the 18th. Usman is back in the octagon. On the 25th, we have another fight night, Marlon Vera versus Corey Sandhagen. It's a great fight night event. April 8th, 287, you've got Pereira and Adesanya. Wow, that is electric. Rematch. You've got the 15th fight night, Holloway versus Allen. And then you have April 22nd fight night, Pavlovich and Curtis Blades. Okay? So some really incredible fights lined up. That Pereira-Adesanya fight is just going to be historic. I mean, hopefully Izzy can figure out a way to get through an entire fight without getting knocked out, because he had Pereira dead to rights, and Pereira just woke up. He woke up the bear by hanging tight and just put the brakes on Izzy late in that fight, for those of you that remember. And now, sure enough, Alex Pereira sits atop the division. Do we have an update on ETA from the control room? Let's check in with our team and give you guys a quick update. Additionally, guys, we will be back again tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern with another show, another Minotaurs break. For those of you just tuning in, you missed it. We broke another round of 10 Minotaurs. We will do another 10 Minotaurs tonight at 6, and we will work our way through. All right. We've got it. We've got our list, folks. We have our list. Shout out to the team for working our way through this. Okay? Let's go to the draft board. The first pick in tonight's draft, and guys, thank you for the patience. Yep, you see it there first. Thank you very much. The first pick in tonight's draft on the clock, King Poopy. Welcome back, my friend. Always a pleasure to see you. Always a pleasure to call you out. King Poopy first on the board. He takes the Rare Bo Nicol. Rare Bo Nicol is off the board, going to King Poopy. All right, let's move on. Guys, again, first 20 picks, manual. The final 30 picks, auto. Stick with me for the first 20, and we'll go right to auto. Here we go. Next up, Harvarad. Harvarad is on the clock in the 2-hole. Harvarad, you are on the clock, my friend. And we go with the rare Cameron Simon. Cameron Simon rare. We go to 3, Brian G, 1, 2, 3. Good to see you again, my friend. Brian G, 1, 2, 3 is back for some more action. Good to see you, my friend. Let's do it. Brian G, 1, 2, 3. Brian G grabbing the rare Tabitha Ritchie. We move on to the 4-hole. Gary BMW. Hey, I like BMWs. I'm a BMW guy, Gary. What of it? You a BMW guy? I assume so. Gary BMW. Love me a BMW. Gary going with the rare Marc-Andre Barrios. We move on to slot 5. King Poopy back on the clock. King Poopy on the clock in the 5 slot. King Poopy is taking the rare Trevin Jones. And we move on back to Gary BMW. Gary, you're on the clock, my friend. Gary BMW on the clock. And Gary is going to grab the Elite, Jessica Penne. So the Elite goes off the board in the 6 slot. Interesting. King Poopy in the 7 slot on the clock. King Poopy is taking the rare Julian Marquez. Rare Julian Marquez. We go back to Gary BMW in the 8 hole. Gary, you are on the clock. Gary is on the clock. Core, Bonacal. Going to Gary. Brian G, 1, 2, 3. You're on the clock in the 9 slot. What is Brian G grabbing? Brian G, Cameron Simon Core. Cameron Simon Core. 10 and 11 back-to-back. Why not for Greg 21? Why not for Greg? Why not, I say? We're going 10 and 11 back-to-back. Julian Marquez, why not for Greg? And the Mana Martinez, why not for Greg? Back-to-back. We move on to slot 12. Brian G. We're almost there at the 20 spot, guys. Brian G, 1, 2, 3. You're up, my friend. Brian G, 1, 2, 3. Damon Blackshear is going to Brian G. Excuse me. Bonacal. My bad on that. Misread it. Bonacal is going to Brian G, 1, 2, 3. And then we move on to the 13 hole, Gary BMW. Gary is going to take the Shavkat Rakhmonov. Shavkat Rakhmonov Core. And we go to King Poopy in the 14 hole. King Poopy is going to also take a Shavkat Rakhmonov. We move on to Gary BMW in the 15 slot. Gary is going to take the Shevchenko. Nice grab. King Poopy is on the clock. In the 16 slot, you are on the clock, King Poopy. John Bones Jones. John Bones Jones going to King Poopy. We go to Gary BMW again in the 17 slot. Four cards left until we go auto draft, folks. Stick with me. The rare Julian Marquez off the board. Julian Marquez rare is off the board. We go to 18. Brian G, 1, 2, 3 on the clock. Brian G is going to take the Shevchenko core. Very nice. Moving on to 19. Harvard. Almost sounds like Harvard grad, which I am not. Thank you very much. Harvard on the clock at 19. Dreisches Duplessis core. Nice grab. We moved to slot 20 in our last manual pick of the draft. 20 belongs to King Poopy. King Poopy, what's it going to be? It's going to be the Radzabov. Radzabov goes to King Poopy, and we go auto picking, folks. Here we go. Live. King Poopy taking the Black Shear rare. Harvarad, the Gamrot, the Ribovics goes to Brian G. Gary BMW takes the Vivian Araujo. The Penne goes to King Poopy. Jalen Turner is going to Gary BMW. Vivian Araujo goes to King Poopy. Derek Brunson to Gary BMW. Another Brunson to Brian G. Cody Garbrandt is going to Why Not for Greg. Cody Garbrandt again. Another for Why Not for Greg. Brian G. Marc-Andre Barrio. Gary BMW takes the Basharat. The Mana Martinez goes to King Poopy. A Cody Garbrandt again to Gary BMW. Vivian Araujo goes to King Poopy. Marc-Andre Barrio is going to Gary BMW. The Marc-Andre Barrio goes to Brian G. 1, 2, 3. Jalen Turner is going to Harvarad. Juliana Marquez going to King Poopy. You have the Damon Blackshear going to Harvarad. You've got Esteban Ribovics going to Brian G. Matus Gamrot going to Gary BMW. Vivian Araujo to King Poopy. Damon Blackshear to Gary BMW. Jalen Marquez to King Poopy. Marc-Andre Barrio to Gary BMW. And back and forth they go. Brian G is taking the Jessica Penne. And finally, Why Not for Greg with the Farid Basharat. That is the break, folks. That is the first break. I apologize for the delay. Okay, no big deal. We'll work our way through it. We're going to move on to our second break. Why not? Right away. Here we go, folks. Let's crack some cards open. Let's crack some cards open. Break number 2, folks. Let's rock and roll. Again, guys, these are UFC Reignmakers event packs specific to the upcoming UFC event. And we're getting one rare or better per pack. Brunson, Rachmanov, Keenan, Nakal, and a Derek Brunson rare. Very nice. Moving on. Pack number 2. Pack number 2. 4 cores. Ribovics, Gan, Keenan, Ribas, and Amanda Ribas rare. Nice. From the right, pack 3. A Blackshear, Turner, Keenan, Pickett, and an Elite. Good luck. Basharat, nice. Elite Basharat. We'll take it. Next up, another Elite. Good luck, guys. Gary, Brunson, Marquez, Ribas, and nice. Blackshear Elite. Again, from the right, Radzabov, John Jones, Marc-Andre Barrio, Pickett, and a rare Jessica Penne. And we move on to the next pack. From the right, guys, good luck. Another rare. Radzabov, Strogan, Keenan, Ribas, and Martinez, Mana Martinez. Keeping it moving. Here we go. Elite and a rare, our best pack so far. Duplessis, Simon, Pickett, Derek Brunson, Elite, rare, and a Trevin Jones. Not a John Jones, a Trevin Jones, Elite. Nice. 3 left. Good luck. Rare from the right. Martinez, Rakhmonov, Keenan, Araujo, and our rare card is Rakhmonov. We'll take it. From the right, good luck. 2 left. Amanda Rivas, Cyril Gain, Jessica Penne, Valentina Shevchenko, our first Shevchenko with a break, and our rare. Ooh, Marc-Andre Barrio. Very nice. And final pack of the break, guys. Final pack of the break from the right. Basharat, Neil, Marquez, Trevin Jones, and your final card, Dreysus Duplessis, rare. Okay, let's take a breath. Let's take a breath as a group, okay? Because I pummeled you. Absolutely pummeled you with information in the last break because we had a little bit of a technical difficulty, a little bit of a catch. I spent a lot of time spewing info at you. So I want to slow it down. I want to give you guys what I think is the most important because I know we have some new folks joining for this break that maybe weren't in the first break. So without further ado, let's talk about what we have for the fights coming up. Again, just real quick, breaking news, guys. One of the things that I think is most important about this show is that we are announcing Stipe Miocic as the fighter that the UFC 285 experience winner is going to have their lesson coached by, okay? In other words, if you partook in the portfolio gated contest, the UFC 285 experience winner is going to be winning, or I should say training with Stipe. So the UFC 283 gated contest won you a UFC 285 experience. That experience was a lesson with a fighter to be determined. Well, tonight I'm announcing it's Stipe Miocic, one of the greatest heavyweight fighters of all time. Absolutely incredible prize. And the gated contest for 285 are going to have a whole nother fighter announced down the road for a UFC 287 VIP package. That is going to be for a meal with a UFC fighter, okay? I can't even imagine who that's going to be. If we're doing Stipe for this, who are you going to be eating? I have no clue. At this point, it might be Conor McGregor. I'm making that up, okay? Do not hold me to that. I'm just saying. I mean, Stipe, how do you get better than that? I mean, geez. Anyways, let's talk quickly about the main card. I know we talked about this quite a bit, but it is the headlining event. Cyril Gane and John Jones. John Jones is coming back. He is officially back. There's a vacant heavyweight title on the line, of course. When Ngannou had to make his way out of the division, you've got John Bones Jones and Cyril Gane going at it for the title. Long-awaited return, over 3 years out of the sport. Much talked about heavyweight debut, and he's taking on the former interim title holder in Cyril Gane. Is the number 10 ranked men's pound-for-pound fighter. Is he better than that? Probably. But there's just so many questions in the air around what he is. He's 35. Many consider him to be the greatest fighter ever, but it's the first time he's fight since UFC 247 when he beat Dominic Reyes. He's got obviously a crazy resume. Obviously crazy pedigree. One of the most athletic families on the planet. His brother Chandler Jones in the NFL, and he one of the greatest fighters in the history of the sport. But again, 35, he's coming back to a sport that he hasn't competed in for over 3 years. I mean, that's roughly how old I am. I know if I hadn't done something in 3 years and I went back, I'd feel all rickety and old and achy. So I'm getting up there. I know he's getting up there. So we'll see. And in comes the number one heavyweight contender, Cyril Gane. Cyril Gane is your underdog. And he's a dangerous man. He is a dangerous man. He did lose to Ngannou at 270. Ngannou recently did leave the UFC. So that's why you have that vacant title. Gane rebounded with a third round stoppage over Tai Tuivasa, who also was a talented fighter at Paris. And he's looking to make the most of his second opportunity to compete for the undisputed heavyweight title. I mean, this is a big, big, big fight with two big, big, big names and two very, very dangerous fighters. Additionally, guys, the co-main event, which is just as cool of an event, Shevchenko takes on Grasso, and Shevchenko is a killer. She's your favorite, the number 2 ranked pound-for-pound fighter in the women's divisions, and she's seeking a 10th consecutive victory and an 8th successful defense of her flyweight title. 8 consecutive defenses of the flyweight title. That's 8 people who think they're good enough to be the best fighter in the division, challenging you and you saying absolutely not. Unbelievable. She is so good. That's why they call her the Bullet. Anyways, she's dominated the competition in the 125-pound rank. She was pushed to her limit last summer in Singapore. We talked about this versus Talia Santos, but she did take down the Brazilian by split decision. And now here comes Alexa Grasso, the number 6 ranked flyweight, who is forecasting to be a contender. But, obviously a win over Shevchenko would be not only earth-shattering, but career-changing and life-changing nonetheless. And she's got some impressive wins under her belt, though. Last fall, she took a unanimous decision over Viviane Araujo. And then one cool fact that I think jumps off the page at me is with a win, she could join Brandon Moreno and Yair Rodriguez as Mexican UFC champions. It's the only 3. Right now, there's only 2. And she's been outstanding in her last 4 fights. Super smooth, super crisp, great boxing, all that good stuff. Additionally, you've got Jeff Neal taking on Rakhmonov in the welterweight division. This is the number 9th ranked Rakhmonov taking the number 7th ranked Jeff Neal. And then the other fight that I'll highlight is the Jamie Pickett and the Bo Nickal. Bo Nickal is a super hot name right now. Okay, but look at our team go. That might be the fastest turnaround of a draft sheet I've ever seen in my life. Ever. And we're ready to rock, okay? First and second pick on the board are going to belong to Why Not for Greg 21. Why Not for Greg back-to-back at the top of the draft. We love to see it. 1 and 2 to you. The first pick, Fareed Basharat, is going to Why Not Greg? Why Not for Greg? And the second pick is going to be the elite Damon Blackshear. So an elite Fareed Basharat and an elite Damon Blackshear are going to Why Not for Greg. Very cool. Very, very cool. And guys, again, the first 20 picks are going to be manual. The 30 picks following will be auto-picked. And we go spots 3 to 5 are belonging to our friend Brian G123. Brian G123 just coming in saying, no, I'm taking 3. I'm taking 3 spots. 3 spots are going to belong to me. Watch out. 3, 4, and 5. Brian G123. And the first of those picks is going to be the elite Trevin Jones. Very nice. We are going to grab the rare Shavkat Rakhmonov. And we are going to grab, what's the third going to be? Shavkat and Trevin. What would the third pick be? I'm trying to guess ahead of the time I get the pick in. Oh, I wasn't going to guess that, but that's a good pick. Traces to place, this rare. We'll take it. Brian G, nice grabs. All right, 6th pick belongs to Pat Day, 1425. Pat Day, welcome in. Pat Day, 1425 with the 6th pick. You are on the clock, my friend. All right, Derek Brunson going to Pat Day, the rare Derek Brunson. We move on to the 7th pick. 7th pick is going to be Brian G, 123, back at it again with a 4th pick in this draft. Very nice. And Brian's going to take the Shavkat. Looking for Rakhmonov. Brian is stockpiling the Rakhmonovs. Very nice. And we move on to slot 8. The 8th overall pick is going to belong to Dave Sturp. Not only that, he's also got the 9th pick. Back-to-back. Dave Sturp, welcome back, my friend. 8th and 9th belong to you. You're on the clock. Dave Sturp with the 8th and 9th pick. Wait a second. 8 picks in a row. I misread that. Dave, I apologize, okay? First off, let me just say this. This is the longest streak of picks we've had on the show yet. You currently have the 8th, the 9th, the 10th, the 11th, the 12th, and the 13th pick. 6 straight picks. Here we go. Jessica Penne, rare. Rare Marc-Andre Barrio. Rare Amanda Rebus. Core Shavkat Rakhmonov. What else? What else? We've got a core. Valentina Shevchenko. And what's that? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got one more pick from Dave Sturp from the most historic run of picks ever. 6 straight picks. Love it. The Mana Martinez rare. We will take it. 6 straight picks. Shout out to Dave Sturp. Unreal. Unreal. All right, we go to 14. Slot 14. Back to Brian G. 1, 2, 3. Slot 14 goes back to Brian G. 1, 2, 3. Brian G is going to take a Bonacal. Very nice. Bonacal, a super hot name right now. We move to slot 15. Pat Day 1425. Pat Day 1425. Six picks left until we go auto, guys. Pat's going to take the Derek Brunson rare. Derek Brunson rare going to Pat Day 1425. We move on to the 16 slot. 16 slot belongs to Brian G. Not only that, 16, 17, and 18. Brian G. 1, 2, 3. Brian G. 1, 2, 3. We're going Ian Gary Core, Cameron Simon Core, and finally the Farid Basharat Core. 19 and 20 belong to Why Not for Greg. And then we go auto picking, folks. Why Not for Greg? You were on the clock. 19 and 20 belong to you. Why Not for Greg is on the clock, and then we go auto picking. Juliana Marquez Core and a Jeff. Oh, I jumped the gun. I apologize. I jumped the gun. Juliana Marquez Core, and what's the 20th pick going to be for Why Not for Greg? It's going to be the Cyril Gahn. Why wouldn't it be? Cyril Gahn Core. It's a good way to finish our manual picks. We move to auto draft, and here we go, folks. Song Keenan Core going to Why Not for Greg. The Loic Radzabov is going to Why Not for Greg. Derek Brunson, Brian G. Loic is going to Brian G. Jessica Penne is going to Brian G. Cyril Gahn going to Pat Day. Pat Day with a gun. Nice. We're going Brian G with the Song Keenan. Dave Sturp with the Amanda Rivas. The Song Keenan is going to Dave Sturp. Also, Derek Brunson to Dave Sturp. Dave Sturp takes Trevin Jones. Dave Sturp takes Mana Martinez. Dave Sturp takes the Draces Duplessis. And Brian G takes Amanda Ribas. Pat Day is taking Damon Blackshear. Brian G will take Julian Marquez. We have Brian G taking the Song Keenan. Brian G taking Jeff Neal. Why Not for Greg 21 taking the Song Keenan. Amanda Ribas as well going to Greg. Greg takes Jamie Pickett. For Greg takes Marc-Andre Barrio. Brian G is taking the Jamie Pickett. Vivian Araujo goes to Brian G. We also have Brian G taking the Jalen Turner. Pat Day taking Esteban Ribovics. Brian G taking John Bones Jones. You have Dave Sturp taking Amanda Rivas, Jamie Pickett, and Cyril Gahn. That is your break, guys. Congratulations to everybody that landed cards. Again, these are your event pack cards. They are good for the upcoming UFC event. Good luck in all of your matchups. Thank you guys for participating and being present. This has been another edition of Minotaur and UFC Pack Breaks. We're back again tonight at 6 o'clock Eastern. Make sure you tune in. I'll see you guys soon.